My boyfriend showed his friend my body while I was asleep. Context: happened a few days ago. Me and my boyfriend were staying in a hotel with his friend and his wife. We've been together 3 years. We were all drinking, and after a while his friend and wife left. Me and my boyfriend had drunk intimacy and then went to bed. After a while his friend came back alone. My boyfriend got up, which woke me up. I was half asleep and heard the friend say something about my body. My boyfriend asked if he wanted to see. I was on my side away from them and heard them walking over. I panicked and didn't know what to do. Was I supposed to jump up and let them know I was listening? Freak out? I have severe anxiety, so this caused an attack. I froze and he lifted up the covers I was under. Edit: I was naked. I confronted him the next day, but he says I wanted him to see me because I didn't stop him, and he should be upset at me but is understanding, and I should be too, so we can let it go. Update: thanks everyone so much for support, advice. I've been with this guy forever and we were talking about starting to do foster care and marriage. I thought I was crazy and this wasn't as big a deal as I was making it since I wasn't touched or anything. I'd like to make an update after I talk with him again. When you make one, do you just add it in here or make a new post? I am new to this. To everyone saying it's ultimately my fault for not doing anything, mental illness is paralyzing. I was SA as a kid and this was the same way my body made me or wouldn't let me react. I wasn't sure at first, but I know I didn't do anything wrong. I'm sorry if it seemed like an obvious answer. It's hard to accept these things when it's someone you had a future with. More info: I am hesitant to tell the friend's wife because they have a baby together. I know she should know the kind of man he is, but it makes me think of how I went through divorce. But then again, would he be a good father to the baby girl anyway? Update: when my boyfriend got home, I told him we had to talk. He agreed. I was going to tell him how messed up this was, and I am telling his friend's wife, but he talked before me. Turns out I don't need to tell her because he already did. She was upset and asked him to never contact her or her husband again, so I won't know where that side is going. He apologized and said it was a drunken mistake, but he knows that doesn't make it right or hurt me less. We had talked about 3 ways before with women, and he didn't think I minded, but now understands I didn't agree. He said he never thought he'd do something like that, and he attacked me so much when I confronted him because he knew he was in the wrong but didn't want me to think of him as that guy. He was completely remorseful, and I even saw him cry for the 2nd time in 3 years. He said he thinks maybe it was some drunken pride thing over not being able to do much with me. This is because he does have some erectile dysfunction problems, and I have had to help him with his self-esteem, as he would often say, "I just want to be able to please you," when we could only have intimacy once every few months. Even so, he went to his parents for now. We had moved to a new state together 2 years ago where they live, but I don't really know anyone. I'm looking at plane tickets to my hometown. Until this incident, we have had a perfect relationship. We always hung out and had great times. Only once did we ever have a huge fight, little disagreements but nothing crazy. He did everything he could, no matter how annoying or hard, to help my mental illness. He wanted to pay for me to go back to school. He believed in me and supported me when I started my writing. He helped me come to terms with my abuse and move on. All the nights he stayed up with me while I cried. I wish this never happened. I don't know if we'll get back together, but he's giving me my space and being respectful. I definitely need to be away from him for a while and think about this. He says he'll give me all the time I need, and if I can forgive him, he'll be waiting for me. Thanks everyone for the help in getting me through this time. To all the guys messaging me to say it's my fault and I should be happy he wanted to show me off, I hope your peenie weenie gets so dry it falls off. Edit: just to add about the drinking. We had a problem with this before where he'd get drunk and act very angry, rude towards me, going as far as insulting me. We talked about it and he no longer drinks regularly. We just drink with friends now, so I definitely think that is a big part of it. This was a couple years ago. It also showed me that he is willing to change for the better to keep us going. But this is also a lot worse than just being a drunk butthead. I also saw the conversation and made sure it was between him and her, so I know he was honest about what happened with the wife. Edit: his friend messaged me and said I had no right to make my boyfriend tell on him and refused to see him. I haven't replied, but this does show me my boyfriend is trying.